Hey guys, so I am here to tell you a little bit about what I've learned about learning targets this week. And if you're anything like me, the subject was kind of confusing up until this point because all throughout our junior year we were given this lesson plan template that had a place to fill in your learning target, but we weren't really taught what it means besides, oh, this is a place for an I can statement. So I was kind of thankful for this lesson this week that helped clarify really what a learning target is. Um, Sharing a learning target means a lot more than just writing the standard of the lesson on the board. The students have to understand what is expected of them in this lesson. These targets should be shared with the kids in kid-friendly language. Because, for example, telling a kindergarten student the standard is that they need to describe the relationship between illustrations and the story with prompting and support will just make these kids really confused. What do you mean prompting and support? They've heard the word illustration probably, but overall, especially for younger kids, this really makes no sense. And this is because, as we learned in Chapter 2 of Advancing Formative Assessment, these targets and these standards are written in teacher language, so teachers can share it with each other. And it's up to us to take this academic language and make it understandable for the kids. So instead of giving them the standard I just gave you, reword it and make it more understandable for them by saying, tell me how the pictures in this story show what is happening in the story. And then they'll know what they're really supposed to do. So now that they know the learning target, you've told them what it is, you've written it on the board, you have to make sure they understand what it means. If you ask the class, you say the learning target, and you say, does everyone understand what they're supposed to do? The younger kids will say, yes, ma'am, of course we do, because they want to please you, they love you, they want to make their teacher happy, even if they don't really understand. And the older kids typically are too embarrassed to tell when they don't understand something because they don't want to look dumb in front of their class, or they're just too embarrassed to raise their hand and things like that. So you have to make sure that they really understand. You have to do this kind of in a subtle way. Like, you can ask individual students in the class to restate the learning target to you in their own words, and that way the other kids in the class are listening to it from the perspective of someone their own age and in a language that makes more sense to them. And if whatever they say is wrong, you correct them, have them state it again until you know that they really know what's going on for this lesson. And another way to make this more meaningful is ask your students why they think it's important for them to learn this learning target. So for example, your learning target might be, I can write a small moment story. Of course, we will have already read a small moment story, talked about a small moment story means it happened in a short amount of time, there's a lot of detail, things like that. So ask your kids, why is it important for you to learn how to write a small moment story? And hopefully they'll tell you things like, it'll help me become a better writer, it'll help me practice using detail, it'll make me a better student, and things like that. And in that way, it ingrains it a little more into them, it gives it more meaning, and it doesn't just seem like a pointless lesson that you're teaching. And it can even make it fun if they can tell how this will help them. So in summary, learning targets are set in place so that your students will understand what is expected of them by the end of your lesson. So I hope that made sense. I rewrote it a bunch of times, hoping that it would make sense to everybody. Yeah, have fun commenting on it.